Talking with Words.
Hey, welcome back to Talking with Words. You're here with Rob,
Sally,
James,
Alan,
Cameron,
Ryan.
got a full house, and we're going to watch To Wong Fu. Thanks for everything, Julie Newmar.
She's so statuesque.
This is a, what year was this? 95. 95.
just a few minutes ago.
2 years before I graduated high school.
This is one of those that we had to let Alan pick so that he would finally be on the podcast. Welcome, Alan.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. This movie, if you haven't seen it, stars Wesley Snipes, Patrick Swayze, John Leguizamo, who else were we talking about a second? Jason Landon, Beth Grant, you might know from Donnie Darko.
The girl from Grease.
Marcelina Hugo, which is from The Leftovers. I'm just pulling all this out of my brain.
Arliss Howard, RuPaul.
Nice cameo.
It is described as three drag queens travel across country until their car breaks down, leaving them stranded in a small town. As you can tell, this is one of our movies that's right up our alley.
Just like Priscilla in the desert.
Well,
Queen of the Desert.
Queen of the desert.
Adventures of, please.
Not just in the desert, the queen.
Sally, why don't you read us the Parents Guide for this
I'd love
1995
to.
PG-13 gem?
Well, it's rated PG-13 because it involves men living in drag.
Huh.
And a brief scene of spousal. Anyway. Sex and nudity
Spoilers.
is mild. Violence and gore is mild. Profanity is mild. There are absolutely, no matter what you say, no alcohol, drugs, and smoking attached to these drag queens.
Odd.
And frightening and intense scenes are very, very mild.
It just says mild. I don't know why you're
I like
churching
to
it up.
add something.
Alan and James. Oh, you leaving? You got to poop?
No, I'm redoing our office.
Oh, okay. Enjoy.
Ryan helped me move some stuff. Cameron got some monkey.
Oh, that's right.
I put them
You
to
got
work.
conned into moving. Hey, will you
Yeah.
take that dog that's dying?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm taking it.
Hi, Ash. You guys want to add anything to this before we get going here? You guys are the only ones that have seen this all the way through, I think.
Oh, I've seen it multiple times.
This is one you'll watch over and over again, I'm sure. Once we get you hooked, you're going to be on the wagon.
Once they get your claws into you. Wow. Alan's thinking real hard.
I am thinking you'll never watch Blade the same ever again.
That's fair.
Or Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
Or Roadhouse, yes.
I'll take it. All right, we're going to watch this film. We'll be back in a... What's a...
Minute.
Hot minute.
A hot minute.
Yeah, hot minute. Okay, we'll be back in a hot minute. Per Alan. God damn it.
But she always goes her place. She's got style, she's got grace. She's a winner. She's a lady. Oh, 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 she's a lady.
Well, that was a film. I don't even know how to start. There's a lot to unpack.
Well,
There you go.
yeah.
Many times, apparently, because they unpacked how many outfits?
37.
Well,
Minimum?
enough to fit into a 74 Cadillac, maybe.
You can fit 4 bodies. No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Alan, why don't you start us off?
I'm not sure where to start.
Well, picture it. 1995, New York City.
There you go. James, take it away.
Well, it was me and Sal.
Well, set the stage. It is important to note it was 1995.
Yes.
So we've got
Some things were more acceptable.
an
back
all-star
then.
cast for, I think, Don't Ask, Don't Tell had just gone into law like a year earlier.
That sounds right.
Yeah. So it was nearly 30 years ago. And
Jeez.
Patrick Swayze was known for Roadhouse and a lot of his...
He had just done Point Break. Hold on,
Point
let
Break.
me
Yeah.
let me break this.
Yeah, let's
break.
get into
Let me
that.
break this. So Patrick Swayze had just done Point Break. Wesley Snipes had just done Demolition Man,
Oh,
and John Leguizamo had just done. Where did I write it down?
Carlito's Way.
No, Carlito's Way was earlier than that.
Yeah.
I'll find it in a minute. But they had all done macho roles right before
Very
this.
much.
And then they did the most effeminate. Is that the right word? It's not feminine. It's
Well,
effeminate,
I
right?
wouldn't say effeminate. They weren't really necessarily effeminate.
In this movie,
Yeah.
they literally dressed as women.
Well, the quote
Well, just because you dress as women doesn't make you effeminate.
the quote I have is a gay man with too much fashion sense is a drag queen, and that's what we're
Correct.
talking about.
A gay man
Correct.
with enough fashion sense for two people.
A
Yes.
gay man with too much fashion sense for one gender.
Yes.
There it
one
is.
gender.
So there you go.
I may have heard this rolled more than once.
So I'm going to start off with this went in such a weird direction halfway through. I did not see any of this. It was almost like one of those movies where you have the robbers. There were like fucking 50 of them in the 90s and 80s where the robbers like rob a bank and they start driving off and they go to a small town and then they end up becoming friends with all the people in the small town and give the money away. And is anybody following me here? I got a
Yes.
lot of
Sure.
Okay,
Well, I-
looks.
I've not seen that movie.
But I know what you're saying.
Are you talking about the movie where he befriended the old lady in the house and dug a tunnel through her basement to the bank?
No,
Sounds
Okay.
delightful.
that was Tom Hanks and Marlon Wayans.
Yeah. What was
The Lady
movie?
Killers.
Lady
Yeah, the
Killers.
Lady Killers. Yeah,
That was
that's-
like 2002.
But yeah, this was not Lady Killers.
Well,
Yeah.
No.
But you're right. I mean, I wanted to talk about it in the middle of the film, but couldn't. It would have been spoilers. But everything from New York to them arriving that little town
Yeah.
is a setup.
And it's a red herring because they're supposed to be going to Hollywood, and they get to what did we say it was probably?
Well, the thought is
South Carolina,
they
perhaps?
think they got to Idaho. No, it's not South Carolina because they didn't have air conditioning. They just had fans in the window.
Oh, that's true.
But they believe people watching the movie were talking about it would have been Idaho.
Well, that would make sense.
Yes,
And-
Do cops in Idaho talk like that?
I've never been to Idaho.
Depends on if it's a pen.
That's why I was thinking more
Sheriff
southern
Delaware.
state rather than.
I kind of thought it was more southern. too,
Dollard.
but
That's a
What?
misprint.
It's a misprint.
But they had the windows open at night. You can't do that in the South.
He's right.
Yeah.
He's right.
You can as long as it's November, December, or January. You're good.
Yeah, but it was a strawberry festival.
all right, let's get past it. So this movie
Touche.
starts
That's April.
with I loved the opening line because it really just tells you what you're getting into. It starts with the lovely, not Patrick Stewart, Patrick Swayze.
Yeah.
And he's getting into his drag outfit, whatever you want to call that, his other persona of Vita, and he looks in the mirror and goes, "Here comes Mama," in that effeminate voice.
That's the only time we see him as a man in the movie too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, for the
yes.
most part, you see him without his wig one time.
But that sets the
Right.
tone,
Right, but he
for
still has
everything.
makeup and everything
Right.
else done.
And it's a good. Hey, this is what you're getting into. If you're gonna watch this, here's where we're going.
well, that intro is
the-
the best, right, Alan? With the total transformation.
The transformation
everything going on.
montage.
Wesley Snipes in heels.
Yes.
How does that make you feel, Alan?
Well, it changes my outlook on Blade.
As it should.
I will never watch Blade the same ever again because I'm going to think of, oh, that's Jesse Jackson's daughter.
He was also named after a face soap, Noxzema.
Yeah, Noxzema.
Noxzema.
Yes. Well, he had that clear
And
complexion.
he did. He was very clean.
Yes. You know,
Probably-
black, I can't say that, can I?
Say what?
I'm going to say, well, black don't crack. But
We'll edit.
Yeah, you can say gay stuff, but I wouldn't say
Okay.
black stuff.
Yeah.
You're pretty white. You can say all the gay stuff you want.
gay don't sway.
All right, there you go.
I don't know.
There you go.
But it was a nice drag queen montage.
Oh, no, better yet. I can say this. Queer don't smear.
Yeah, you can say it all you
There
want.
you
we go.
Trademark.
Let it ride. So,
No.
to move this forward a couple steps,
Again, I was setting the stage that in 1995, you just didn't see this, and you sure didn't see it with these actors that we were walking in on. And just to give you an idea, when you went in the movie theater, I mean, I wasn't expecting that. What we saw, even when we saw it for the first time in the 90s, it was pretty shocking. I
Little
you
risque.
can't go back
Yeah.
in time and feel that shock now, but at the time, it was a much bigger deal.
So who said yes first to the role? Dempsey or Snipes?
You mean Swayze?
Swayze.
who's Dempsey?
Patrick Dempsey?
Patrick. He was still doing
One of those Patricks.
I don't know. He was still doing singing.
Well, I know a lot of people passed on it. We had, what did I say earlier?
Mel Gibson.
Oh, yeah,
Gibson.
Mel Gibson passed on it. A couple people passed on the role to do other things because they didn't think they could pull off being a woman, a drag queen. There we go, drag queen.
What the amount of makeup that they put on, I really, as far as acting and actors go, in any other movie they've been in, they probably had just as much makeup on, just as much costume on as they did in this.
Yeah, Gary Oldman was offered the role, and he said no because he had just done all that makeup for Dracula, and he's like, I don't want to go through that again right now.
Yeah,
so he did not. He just said
was in
no
Bram
because
Stoker.
of Dracula. Yeah,
That's right.
To step into their heels for this movie.
Come on.
Yeah, for an actor, I mean, they really weren't doing anything they didn't always do. It was just another part.
Now, did it say who Gary Oldman would have played? I think he would have done a really good Chi-Chi.
Chi-Chi, yeah.
it didn't say who he was playing on the thing. I
I
read.
could see him
I wa-
as Chi-Chi.
Yep.
It just said that he didn't want to have to do makeup because he had to do so much for Bram Stoker's that he was in the chair all the time, and he's like, I just want to do something where I don't have to mess with that shit.
It'd have to be boring.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
all those hours.
So he shaved half his head and jumped in Fifth Element.
Yeah, which
Thank
was awesome.
God,
which we
I loved it.
praise Zod.
one of the
Zorg.
movies we've watched more than
Zorg.
this one.
Yeah.
Element.
Talk about Zod earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was Priscilla. That was the other
That was
movie.
Priscilla, yeah. All right, so Wesley Snipes is Noxema Jackson. Patrick Swayze is Vita. John Leguizamo is Chi-Chi.
I
And
guess.
right after this, John Leguizamo did Spawn as the clown or the violator, depending on if you've seen the movie and know what the hell I'm talking about. But we start this movie with all of them doing a dance drag show and Swayze and Snipes getting a tie to win it. And they got, is that when they got tickets to go to Hollywood?
Correct.
Yep.
First class airfare to Hollywood.
Oh, they had airfare. So
Yeah.
they really
that they sold
fucked themselves
to
up when they brought Chi-Chi in.
Yeah, they needed
Robin Williams' character. What was his name?
when they
John
decide to
Jacob
recruit-
Jingleheimer Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we
Use
go.
my name too.
When Chi-Chi loses the drag show, they take pity on her and decide to take her with them to Hollywood to cheer her up and make her not feel alone in the world.
Which
Not
is
to be the little Latin boy in drag.
one of my other favorite lines is Knox, find out why that little Latin boy in drag is crying.
Little Latin boy in drag. Why are you crying?
But back to the drag show where they win. During the drag show at the end, the person that comes down in a red rebel flag dress named Rachel Tension is RuPaul.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that great choice.
Genius.
Yes.
Perfect choice.
Genius.
You can't recreate that character in that outfit today.
Not
but
gonna work.
It really worked in the 90s.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate because it was spot on.
She nailed it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was amazing. Yeah, and I've only seen like RuPaul has done a couple movies where it's in and out of drag, and there's one called "Who Is Cletus Tout," where he's out of drag, like at the end of the movie, trying to be like an action person, and it's really weird to watch, but the movie's really good.
Rue's
I'll
career
say
was
that.
just was still in its early stages.
Yeah, this is way before
as far as
what is it?
film and
The
acting.
RuPaul's Drag
Uh,
Race.
Drag
and all that
Race,
other
is that
stuff.
what it
Yeah.
was?
Well, another one that RuPaul did was on Netflix. Sadly, it was only one season, but it was I think it was AJ and the Queen. Hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I watched it. I was expecting the second season.
I
And
missed
they
that one.
canceled it.
It was fairly recent though. That just shows how far Rue and all of his and her characters have come over the years. He's done a lot since this.
Well, that was the first like really famous "Here I Am" drag queen, gay.
Yeah.
You know that whole thing. It was accepted because before it was just you could get beat up and thrown off a bridge,
Yeah.
which they talk about a lot in this. Where don't go in there, you're going to die.
Yeah, right.
So they win. They go to the club. They meet Robin Williams' character,
John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith.
yep, and steal the portrait of
Julie Newmar.
the name of the thing, yeah. And then he says, "I'll give you a cat. No, go to this car lot, give him $50, say my name, and you can get a car. So were they stolen cars or were they?
Well, I mean, it's like mention my name and you any car on the lot for $50, and it's like 50. Okay, he was only going to give him $1,000 for the tickets.
Yeah.
So then it's like for $1,050, there originally was like going crazy. Elijah, the owner of the car lot, was like, "Here, I implore you, take the Corolla. Where are you going to get a '95 Corolla for $1,050?" That car was stolen. The cars had to be. I don't know who was going to steal a '74 Cadillac, but they ended up with the Cadillac.
A pimp.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a pitmobile.
I was going to say it did have leopard print interior.
Yeah, the cheetah,
Well,
the leopard, all that. Yeah.
I think the leopard print interior was covering up the bloodstains from the murder.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Probably so.
Like I said,
Hence the 4 to 5 bodies in the trunk.
Yes.
when you see that car in the movie, I think most people can empathize, but I could smell that car just from looking at it.
Ironically, it was the same car that was in Pulp Fiction. The wolf took care of it. Now it's $50. So, okay, we're on the road.
That's
Anything-
step one in the setup.
I was gonna say the rules start. Anything before we get on the road that we missed, other than Naomi Campbell. Sorry.
Naomi Campbell, she's fierce.
Oh, Alan, I'm so glad you're here tonight.
I'm sorry, that's a RuPaul.
It did.
That's a RuPaul reference.
It
I
did
got
set
it.
the
Yeah.
tone. The drag queen competition did set the tone for Chi-Chi's character. Because when they're getting ready to announce the tie winners, like, she takes a couple steps up, like, ooh, call my name, here we go.
Oh, I got it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Which, hey, spoiler
And then-
alert, Chi-Chi wins at the very end of the movie and comes out on top. But yeah, that's a good
But
point.
yeah, it's
Well,
her.
even-
She
she has
thought she was better than she was, and Vita and Noxzema had to break her down a pegger.
Yeah, I mean,
3.
they're barely out on the road when they start talking to her about she's a Latin boy in drag. She gets all upset
Latin
about
boy
it,
in a
right?
dress.
Yeah.
And
you're,
then-
you're not a drag queen.
And this is where they have to institute. Well, she gets all upset, tries to leave him. They're just like, "All right, we'll teach you. You're a drag princess, and we will teach you to be a drag queen by the time this trip is over."
The rules felt very Alcoholics Anonymous when they were saying them, except for the first one.
Oh, Noxzema made it up. There's 4 steps. Just threw it out there. And then
We'll tell
what
them
are
to you
they?
as we go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As
and
we
I did not
think
write
of
them all down. I hope you did.
No, I didn't. I mean, they were long. It was like
It's
the
a lot.
Alan knows them by heart. Don't worry.
It was like the Alcoholics Creed. No, I don't know it.
I don't either.
I don't go to
I've
AA.
not been to a meeting
I
yet.
just drink here.
Yeah.
I thought this was it.
This is it.
Is this not AA? Oh,
Hey, if you need help, call someone. So they get going and they get to that first hotel, which I thought we were gonna have drama. I was
Yeah.
waiting for that first hit. Nah. Chi-Chi hops out and says, "I'm gonna deal with it. I'm gonna go in the hotel and get a room."
Just dribbling.
I think she's going to get beat up because it's middle America.
And Vita says, Noxzema
Noxzema.
says, "Oh, well, he's gonna get killed. I'm not going in there."
Yeah.
And then they go in, and the manager grabs him and says, "Oh, you're here with the
Your-
other ladies,"
Your people are in the back.
and takes him to the ladies' basketball team in the bar to hang out with. And they stayed there for at least the night and some of the next day because they were by the pool the next day.
And playing basketball.
And playing basketball.
And playing
Which-
basketball.
Right,
Wes-
right after
Wesley Snipes had
White Man
just
Can't
done-
Jump.
Exactly. Which this fucking
Then he's
movie.
doing cheerleader kicks and clapping
Oh,
his hands
man,
for making a layup.
Holy shit.
How did he prepare for this role?
He went from hustling other ball players to cheerleader kicks with women.
I wish he
That's
would have
not
on the
dunked. Though.
court.
If he would have dunked, that would have been it.
Just jumped off one of their backs. And
If that's not range, I don't know what is.
I don't know if you saw Woody Harrelson in the background there.
I just hope he paid his taxes for this movie.
So then we're on the road again. And I think Alan said it, they're on the highway and then all of a sudden they're like on a dirt road at night.
Well, they threw out the map.
Yeah, they
Remember
threw out the
this.
map at
Yeah, I
Vita's
forgot-
mom's
I
house.
forgot about the rich parents.
Because in '95, they had to use maps.
yes. You
Yes, we did.
could barely even print it off of Yahoo Maps at that point. That was still too
there,
early.
there were no Yahoo Maps at that
No.
point.
No MapQuest. Nothing. No
Yeah,
Garmin's.
yeah. No government. No, I mean, internet was out, but you weren't getting directions anywhere.
Yeah,
you
no.
had to go down and get your Amico map. Or
I was going to say, you
well,
still had your Atlas book in the car there.
your Ram McNally fold-out.
There we
maps
go.
From 7-Eleven.
I was
I've
fancy.
still got one of mine.
Yes.
I could print maps on my dot matrix printer.
Some bitch.
But they couldn't even afford $1,500 for 3 people to fly to New York, so they didn't have a computer.
Fair
Computers back then would have been $2,000.
They wouldn't know what to do
Easy.
with a computer with those nails.
And a printer. Oh my gosh, it would have took them long to print out the map on that dot matrix printer.
Yeah, it would have been 2 days.
Yeah, no. And makeup's expensive.
Vita throws out the map after she visits her hometown,
Yeah.
stops by her house, and gets very angry when she sees a parent.
We assume the mom.
Assume,
The
yes.
shunning.
Her mother gives the look of disgust.
Yep. Tears up the map, and now it's directions by heart.
She's
Yeah,
not
we're gonna
mad.
we're gonna do it by feel.
We're gonna feel it.
Yeah, something like that.
Intuition and wit.
And then the next
Yeah.
shot is them going to a left or right sign and taking like 2 or 3 different tries to go left or right before they decide which way to go. And then that's when they end up on the dirt road.
That's where they end up at the dead end bridge.
Yes,
then the
yes,
dirt
dead end
road.
bridge.
Where were the signs? They were all there. All of them. But once they get on that dirt road, they pass the cop. We introduce Penn to the equation. And
Sheriff Dullard.
what
It's a
did
misprint.
It's Dollard.
Dollard.
Dollard? What did they say? What in the gay hell? When the lights come on, and then he's very racist. And
Super racist.
so, in this scene, when he takes Swayze out of the car, back to his car to feel her up, I guess Swayze put a corncob in his pants, and Penn, that's his genuine reaction to grabbing the corncob.
Oh, he's like,
Oh.
His surprise is real.
well, it is corn. It has the juice.
I love it when they do that. When they take honest takes from the
100%.
actors.
He got it from him,
Yeah.
and then he Bo killed him for it.
What's the quote of this scene? I forget.
Oh,
Don't grab my dick.
Get your hand off my
Get your
dick,
hand off
buddy.
Oh,
my dick.
yeah, there
Get
it
your
is.
hand on my dick, buddy. In the lowest tone voice that we've heard since the beginning shower scene.
yeah. That is when Eugene took over.
Eugene, that's right.
Yes.
Eugene's on my driver's license.
My name on my license is Eugene.
How do you get Vita from Eugene?
Well, you
He
got to
didn't.
change it. If your name was Eugene, you would change it to anything.
Gene?
Yeah.
Green Gene? Blue Gene?
Huge.
Oh. Yes.
Yeah.
So they think they killed the cop. He wasn't. Was he the sheriff? No, he was just the cop.
He was a sheriff.
And-
Was a
Sheriff.
sheriff,
Yeah,
okay.
sheriff.
He was a sheriff. Dollard.
And
Dollar.
It's a misprint.
in their rush to get away,
Yep.
Vita drops a shoe.
Yeah, a Cinderella.
Vita or
Very-
Chi Chi?
No,
Vita.
it was Vita's shoe.
It was Vita?
Vita's
Yeah.
shoe.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Little Cinderella story there.
Yeah.
But I love how they drive off and look all concerned in the car, and then they stop at a rest area. They go inside and come out with a wardrobe change.
New
And
clothes
all of a
again.
sudden, it doesn't matter. They're over it.
Right. And the reason why the shoe was left behind is because she had 20 more in the trunk.
Yes.
Pairs, not individual.
Yeah, just
It
it wasn't
Doesn't
something
matter.
to worry about.
You move on.
Yeah, you got so
You-
many.
You thought you killed a guy, you leave that shoe.
As
you
far
move
as we
on.
know, they'd only been on the road maybe 48 hours, and we'd already seen like at least 6 different
Well,
outfits.
Noxie had at least 2
I was
changes.
gonna say Knox changed multiple times in
Yeah.
that first 10 miles,
leading us to believe that there's a lot in the trunk of that Cadillac.
which we definitely found out later in the hotel when they redid the entire hotel room
Another montage.
montage.
So the Wonder Woman theme.
montage. But this is also when Chi-Chi Leguizamo gets out and says, "I'm leaving. Fuck you guys." And Swayze gets up and says, "I'm taking away all your points."
All your princess
that little-
points.
And does
Rip-
this little
gesture.
Yeah, he rips him up,
hand
whatever.
thing.
Hands, wrist movement.
And Chi-Chi wanders off, and that's when we start
like a
our
hand jive.
next piece of the film where they bump into Billy Ray.
Bobby Ray.
Bobby Ray. God damn.
All except Billy Ray.
Bobby Ray, Bobby Lee.
So close.
One's a boy, one's a girl.
You would think it should have been in the South.
Yeah.
It's
Bobby
got-
Ray and Billy Ray.
Yeah.
I mean, there's leeway.
The only reason I said South Carolina is they mentioned Greenville.
Yeah,
Would you accept Missouri?
I would.
Same.
Some of our
And
listeners
Green-
definitely would.
Yeah.
Where was the town? Spiderville?
Snyderville.
Snyderville. Ah, Zack Snyderville. That's right.
Chi Chi calls it Spidersville.
Yeah, when they pull up. That's
Correct.
right. When we had and there's also a moment I really liked. We had somebody put the captions on, and they're arguing in the parking lot, and the captions just stop. They're like, "No, we're not even gonna fucking bother with this."
So they were arguing over the dead sheriff.
Oh, yeah.
Or the
that was it.
unconscious
Yeah.
sheriff.
The
I think
captions
he's
were like,
deceased.
"Nah, you figure
Oh
it out."
yeah, John Leguizamo keeps his same mannerisms throughout this film that he does in. They're very noticeable in The Pest.
Yeah.
He intentionally uses the wrong tense, or I'm assuming it's intentional.
Oh, it
But
is.
he uses the wrong tense all the time, and it popped out in this film a couple times.
Also, same with Sid the Sloth. So
Yeah,
Oh, that was him.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
Okay.
I got a lot of
Okay.
Sid the Sloth out of this one. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, I forgot.
I
he
have
was
kids,
an
by the
Ice
way.
Age.
See that? Yeah,
Oh shit.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
Ice
with you now.
Age.
I got
Yeah.
you. I'm gonna delete
And his
that part.
family tried to leave him there too.
Shit. I mean,
yeah.
same role. Same
Well,
role.
I mean, I'd have left him too with all the Canadian tuxedos he had on.
For a
Chi-Chi's
minute
wardrobe
Yeah,
he was all denim.
steadily got better.
all denim all day,
Well, he had people to help him.
Well, how did they help him get new clothes? on
except
the
for
way?
the little.
Also, he was so much
Frilly
smaller.
because he had
outfit.
like 2 trash bags.
Goddamn.
Right.
Yeah.
no,
And that's
yes.
it.
He
yeah.
walked off with 2 trash bags.
You can
And
fit a lot of clothes in 2
They
trash
probably
bags.
sold the Cadillac to get his dress.
Clearly can't fit in Noxie or Vita's clothes.
Also,
Different
Or
builds.
the hats.
yeah.
Hats.
The
Well,
hats.
and also everything Chi-Chi wore was like a tiny
Snooty.
piece of cloth.
Yeah, Chi-Chi was a slut.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah. Hence the trash bag.
Her and her hero, Princess
No.
Laritza, they had a lot in common.
To carry her regrets around. There also, I was reading some of the trivia since Sally didn't stick around.
Rob's into this. Rob loves
is a
this
fun
movie.
It was a fun.
I
He's
like
got
it.
more
Glad you finally
trivia
watched
and
it.
little tidbits on this movie than I've heard.
I love
All night.
movies. I
He's
don't know if you know
just
this,
been
but
mining this
Sally
one
and
a
David
while.
weren't
Love
here.
it.
I'm thinking about starting a podcast.
All right, give it to me.
What a great idea.
But I guess Leguizamo was improvising so much that Patrick Swayze tried to hit him at some point to shut him the hell up because he was getting pissed because he was stepping on his lines, and they had to like, hey John, pull it back a little bit. You're going too far. In those scenes where he was just like going like crazy, and it was toward the end of filming, but Swayze was like, shut the fuck up.
Well, yeah.
I want to go home.
Yeah, because you think about it, of the three, really, it was Patrick Swayze and Wesley Snipes were really the 2 biggest stars.
Yep.
I mean, for
Yeah.
me watching the movie, John Leguizamo was not really a big star at the time.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, I knew him from like Carlito's Way and The Pest, and
Well, I just
This
now
came
remember,
after Pyromaniacs
realized
was
he
the
was
one
Sid
that
from
came
Ice
out
Age.
right before.
because he was still around. He was doing stand up. He did a lot of stand up back then, but he wasn't getting.
He wouldn't get
He-
the face time.
features.
He had a ton of supporting roles.
Yes.
Yeah,
But with the exception of The Pest, I don't think he had any like major leading roles.
yeah. No, I don't think so. Because The Pest was wasn't that one of his creations?
I'm pretty sure I don't know if he directed it, but I'm pretty sure he wrote it.
Yeah, I think or at least at the very least, he was one of the co-creators.
Yeah.
because it was, it's dumb, but it's
Great.
fun to watch.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen The Pest?
I don't think so.
Oh, man.
No.
All right, well, stick around.
I've seen
Yeah.
10 movies, so and they've all been for the podcast.
They've all been the movies that we've watched.
Terrifier 2, this one.
That's a solid list you got going on.
Yeah. It's a good start, Cameron.
So let's step into they drive into this town. They get a room at it's kind of a bed and breakfast, but they don't really treat it like one. It's just kind of a hotel, like in the Old West. I mean, it looks like a set from an old Western that they just decided this is going to be.
It's a
Snyderville.
one dirt road town.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
There's 9 buildings in the town,
And I'm pretty
2
sure-
of which are trailers.
And
And the movie house was
Virgil
closed.
and
Yeah.
Carol Ann are the proprietaries of the proprietors of the place.
Yeah,
And
the bed and
Virgil is also
breakfast
the mechanic that's supposed
slash
to fix their car.
shop.
Who tells them he can't fix it till Monday because it have Cadillac parts.
Yeah.
But he's also the person taking rent, I guess, from the bed and breakfast. So I feel like he had a motive both ways in waiting. He was going to gouge them for money.
What a
for
piece of
staying
shit.
and
Well, he
for the
was
repairs.
garbage.
What a
he was
piece of shit that guy
They're a Ford
is.
town, not a GM town.
So,
Oh,
So-
yeah. Yeah,
Well,
Bobby Ray.
Bobby Ray
had
drove
an
Ford.
old, like 78 Ford
Yep.
or 79 Ford.
Alan's getting Ford hard over there. So, before we go into the next piece of this, there are so many actors in the town that we all recognized from all these other different movies. I mean, there were tons of people in this, and I don't know if it was just one of those they're all in the right place, like wherever they filmed it or what. But you had, what was Jason? It's Jason and
London.
London, who's the brother of Jeremy
London,
who was
from
in
Clerks.
Dazed and Confused and Clerk. No, Jason.
No, Jason was in
Jason
Dazed
was
and
in
Confused. and-
Jeremy was in
They're
Clerks.
twin
Out
brothers,
cold.
I take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you had the
I don't know if they're
librarian
twins,
from
but-
Ghostbusters 1. You had,
What's her name?
Oh,
Rizzo
Stock- yeah,
from.
Stockard Channing,
Rizzo
who was
from
Rizzo
Grease.
from Grease.
yeah, you had the mom from Meet the Parents.
Yep.
Yep.
You had the abusive
Blythe
husband was in
Banner.
Natural Born Killers.
Beth. What was her last name? She played Melvina from The Office that Cameron called out. She was in she was in a ton of other stuff, but she played Dwight's nanny slash.
Well, Beth
Date.
Grant
Date.
was also, I always think of her from Donnie Darko as the
Yeah, she was in Donnie Darko.
the one of the dance. She had the dance group.
You're
Yep.
talking about the Loretta character?
Yes.
Yes.
I love some of her lines from the movie because she plays a sort of gruff,
She kind of reminds me of
blunt
like
woman.
Bride
Yeah.
of Frankenstein with the hair.
yeah.
When they're in the cafe and she's like, "Well, what do you guys do for fun around here?" Well, we used to have a hollering contest, but some people don't care for that. And she's like looking dead eye at somebody when she says it. And
Yeah.
she wanted a hollering contest, and I think she was good at it.
God damn it, we like to shout around here.
That Bride of Frankenstein is like every other hair is black and white.
Yes, you just
That's-
had the
that's
strange
why.
Yeah,
white
that's-
in it.
Every other hair almost.
She's known for that. I
Yeah.
mean, you go back and look at every movie she was in the late '90s. That's it.
Yep.
And even she was in was it The Mist? She's been in a couple Stephen King things lately, and she hasn't really aged. I mean, she's still weird looking. No offense.
Kind of like
But,
Paul Rudd.
The Hollywood advantage.
I guess so. Yeah.
No one has your look.
No offense.
Not when it gets you work.
So then we get into their stay in the town.
After they do their montage for the room, once
so
they
yeah,
realize they're going to
yeah,
be
they-
there for a couple days.
They're gonna have to be
Yeah.
there for 2 days.
And they
Yeah,
fixed
they-
up the whole room with where did they get all
Clothing
this stuff?
items.
there were a lot of
and-
sashes.
And it's just a sort of magical thing. They're playing the Wonder Woman theme song from the
Yeah.
old 70s Wonder Woman show, and they're just throwing clothes around that magically go places and decorate the room. And the whole time that this music is playing, the clothes are going up, the townsfolk are getting closer and closer to looking in, directly pressing their faces to the glass of their room at the bed and breakfast place. And I just thought that was so weird.
Which is even weirder because they were upstairs.
But it really brought you into the
No,
town.
they're
and
downstairs.
Oh,
The
yeah,
bed and
they were
breakfast thing was
downstairs.
upstairs.
At that
Yeah.
point, you really realize they're in the town and
Yeah.
the lines have been crossed and they're about to interact.
Which-
That's the most exciting thing that's happened in that town in decades.
Which,
It
let's
was.
address that. Did anyone know that they were men? Because we thought
No.
people knew, and then at the end,
No, I don't think so because they were in the middle of, I'm going to say Idaho, and
Missouri.
they just didn't. All they knew is they were from New York City.
Yeah.
So New York. So, everybody in New
sophisticated
York
ladies.
is weird.
Yeah.
Career
Ann said that
ladies.
she noticed
Career
first.
that's what it was. Career
We know
ladies, yeah.
Carol Ann was not
Yeah.
fooled for an instant because she
No.
talks about the Adam's apple
Adam.
at the end of the movie.
But
And it's my opinion that nobody was fooled except for Bobby Ray and Bobby Lee.
and all the guys that tried to
Oh, the rape.
Rape
yeah,
Chi-Chi.
Yeah, yeah, the rape.
Well,
the rape
the
squad.
cat
I mean, I could be
Colors,
wrong
yeah.
about them too, but I don't think so. I mean,
No, they didn't know.
they
They
might have
didn't
tried
know.
either
Which,
way.
at the
They
end,
were
when
pretty
she,
scummy.
when she called out the Adam's apple,
fair.
that was the part to me where I was like, "Oh shit, no one knows. No
Right.
one's really realizing it. She's the only one that was like, I know what you are."
they just assume everybody from New York is that.
just weird
out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Just
But even today,
eccentric.
we think that somebody you're from New York City. It's like, oh, okay,
Psycho.
yeah.
Alan, you're a little.
Well, I didn't say they were from Jersey.
Oh, okay, that's
I
funny.
mean, I mean, we're not talking Snooky now.
Snooky.
I don't need no smush mush.
Smush mush.
We still love you, boss.
Yeah.
So, and this is also a very '90s thing. The correlation in my brain that kept going back was, and I know what I'm saying out loud right now, is
Yep.
Sister Act 2.
Not even one, the two.
Two,
Wow,
because
deep cut.
she went back and they had a montage where they got rid of all the graffiti and they got all the kids and they did all this.
Yes.
And in this, it was a montage of them getting all the ladies like crazy eccentric clothes and getting the guys to accept it. And within a day, everyone was like, "Yeah, babe, it's all good here, man." Sure. And it took no time at all because we were talking during the movie, like, how long have they been there? Like, how
Yeah, that was one day. You're
They
right.
haven't made
Yeah.
24 hours
they
yet.
have a strong presence.
And that's what made it even funnier when they they finally make it to the dance that night.
Yeah.
And all the townsfolk are out dancing, and it's a demonstration of how everything's changed and everything's kind of a little bit better
Right.
than it was before they got there. And they pan up to them on the balcony, and they're dressed in the color in pink,
Yep, you were right on that one.
green, and blue. And they say the line,
They do.
"Sometimes it just takes a fairy." And those are the colors from the three fairies in Sleeping Beauty.
Cinderella.
Cinderella.
One of the two.
Cinderella.
I'm not a
think it's
Disney
Cinderella.
expert.
Cinderella was the
And
fairy
Vita even
godmother.
said "my pumpkins," which is
Oh.
also a nod to that.
You must have daughters.
Well,
That checks out.
Wait, I did like they were able to push the gay rhetoric back and forth at each other when they were calling each other queens and all these different things, and then it went to the masculine side where it was bad to have muscles or be more manly and things like that, which is the total opposite of what you see like today. And you had Chi-Chi's fight with Vita,
Vita.
and that was where you had the other wig.
Yeah, the wig gets caught on the light cord or light or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, the poor cord
during
on
the
that
spousal
Yeah.
abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you had that if it's a gay group arguing, being straight's bad, and then if you have the straight people arguing, it's gay people are bad. And it went back and forth a couple times because we had Penn with his list. Did anybody
Oh,
write down
yeah.
his list?
Yeah,
Yes.
he's full on Dark Knight mode with his list.
Oh, yeah. It was like Kill Bill.
place. It's like place where homos
Kill
hang out.
Bill.
That's literally what it said, right?
But
Yeah.
he went in boring order.
Yeah,
in
flower
sequential
shops.
order.
Yeah.
What
did it say?
Ballet schools,
Where homos hang out? Is
Yes.
that what it
Yeah.
said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
antique stores.
Floor shops, ballets, antique stores.
And he's just going through like, nope, and scratching it out.
Just holding up a picture that he drew next
The
to
picture was the best.
some dude and like
He even
double
set
taking.
up the roadblock for it. I was like stopping everybody, checking them as they go through.
I never even thought about it until you pointed it out, Rob. But yeah, apparently he drew the picture, and he's still holding the picture up
Yeah, he saw
to people
he
to
saw
see
her.
if they
He's the
match
one who
picture
knows.
that he
Yeah.
drew.
Like, he doesn't need
yeah,
the
I don't
picture.
need. I don't need an artist sketch.
Like, this is that guy whose dick I grabbed.
Yeah.
Like,
Corn cob.
yeah, the corn cob.
why does he need the picture? It's his picture. That was fun. But I also liked that when he walks in, this is previously when they find out he's not dead, and he tells the other cops what happened. They're like, "Oh, so you got beat up by a girl? We're not going to help you."
Yeah,
and then it's
no.
like this Lone Ranger thing he does where he's like, "I'm going to go out and find those bitches." And
Bring back 3 bodies.
And,
And if you don't find something
yeah,
that doesn't belong there between their legs, well, I don't know what. The most empty threat ever.
he must have finished filming and gone home and been like, "What the fuck am I doing with my life? Like, why did I take this role?"
Well, he killed it there in the bar. Where
Oh,
his,
yeah, that was great.
Oh,
repressed,
that was definitely his.
when his
yeah.
repressed homosexual tendencies were making an appearance.
Stubble rubbing against stubble.
You just put your
Hand
fingers
whirling
in those
to a twirling
chair.
chest hair.
chairs.
whiff of cologne or aftershave. Whiffs of
Yeah.
aftershave.
Musk.
That was pretty good.
And then who should sit down next to him? Virgil, and he gives him that look.
Yeah, that glance was more than 2 seconds.
That dick.
Is that time period something?
There is a amount of time you can stare at somebody before it gets questionable.
2 seconds.
I don't know if everyone feels that way,
Like
but
that.
I definitely do.
Who wants to try?
Yeah, I try not to stare anybody
Yeah.
down.
You're like, hey Ryan, how's it going? Right, we're done.
Hey, whoa.
You
lock
know I'm going to
eyes.
intentionally make eye contact with both of you next time I sit down at the bar and just see how long it takes you to break.
Well,
I'll buy you a
bathroom's free.
drink. You don't have to flirt.
You're a handsome boy.
Where are we at in this film?
Are you wearing aftershave?
We're all over the place. Yeah, and also when he walks in, they play the cassette tape in the bar, which I like the aging of the film. When you have something like that, you're like, yeah, no one knows what that is at this point in
The
time.
bar that only had PBR on tap.
Oh yeah, what
Three.
was it? That
Three.
Three.
Cameron
taps.
noticed 3 PBRs, and he asked for bourbon. You got 3 PBRs. Come on, man.
Again, maybe Missouri?
Well,
That one, yes,
they both got beat up by the same girl, so they both needed a drink.
that's true. But she works out
She works out, though.
A
lot.
lot.
Yeah,
It's okay.
A lot.
a lot, which we did see. I
Same.
mean, it started with Swayze without a shirt in the beginning. Yeah, he's still Swayze in it.
Well, I want to jump back to one little scene because it's one of my favorite
Oh,
parts.
we're jumping all over the place. Go where you want.
In the town, when they're making their connections with the local women, Noxzema sees a picture fall out of the old woman's
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
book that she's carrying around. The townsfolk tell her that she doesn't talk, she can't hear, she's just crazy, and she sees that note fall out, and then she's going to bring the photo back to her, but she's wearing this tiny little pencil skirt thing down around her legs, and she can't.
and Wesley
She
Snipes has
can't
been working out
walk.
for Demolition Man.
Yeah, here's Wesley Snipes in this tiny little skirt, chasing this old woman through a dirt road, trying to give her a photograph, and making those tiny little steps, and she's, woo, this, you dropped this. Chases
Ooh,
her.
I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
I'm gonna get you. That's right.
It was great.
I use that at work. Oh, I'm gonna get you.
I mean, she essentially forces her friendship on this old lady. She's like, well, if you're not doing anything, I'm just going to sit down on the porch with
sit
you.
down and talk to you.
I mean, there's
And
nothing
you've
else to
gotta
do in
listen
that
to
piece
me.
of shit town. So.
Yeah.
If Wesley Snipes is ever behind me, saying I'm gonna get you, I am going to shit my pants.
That's not an uncommon reaction.
I don't want Blade coming up on me.
Exactly.
But I did like that it took 2 seconds to break her. Everyone else was like, oh no, she's a mute, she's deaf. And Noxzema sat down there and said like 3 things about a movie, and
Well,
she
yeah, just started talking movies.
just started talking.
Eventually, when somebody talks to you that much, you'll say something just out of reflex. How could you not?
So everybody else had been ignoring her for however many months or years.
Well, I mean, right, Chris? Yeah, see, James?
Sounds about
Yeah.
right.
But it's definitely, we kept saying through the whole thing, I don't get that reference. And it's because they keep bringing up these old movie references that you really have to be a big cinephile to even.
And I even tried to look some of them up. I couldn't find them.
Yeah.
Well, Malaga?
I was very disappointed that you guys didn't know who these references are.
Yeah.
I mean, these
Because
had to
I
have
was
been,
like picking them off. I was like, oh.
I just watched that yesterday. Half the names were like French, and I was like, how the fuck do you... I don't have a crepe emoji to put in here to... I didn't know how to spell half of that shit. I don't even know if any of them are real, because some of the, like the town was fake.
Oh, the
Like,
town was town. The movies are real, though. You had Lena Horne.
Oh, the
Lena
movies
Horne.
were real, and then
Yeah.
you had like the one with...
The very end.
fuck.
The producer. What was the name?
I thought I wrote it down. I guess not. The first page she flips over
Mm-hmm.
is the one that...
yeah,
Hattie.
Hattie.
Yeah, she was real.
you're right there.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
in that area.
And-
That one.
Yes.
But then everything else was like, no.
Yeah, you had Lena Horne. They were famous black
Say
actresses.
lean on a horn.
Well, I think it was Lena Horne.
That's what Noxzema was
Yeah,
trying to
I
get
think
him to
Lena,
do.
I think Lena Horne.
But
was
yeah,
one.
they were famous black actresses back in the time where black actors and actresses did not get the limelight. So it's like she was one of the first, when she was talking about, I can't remember her name, but she was one of the first black actresses that would refuse to play a servant in a movie.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, that's
So-
right.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's where they kind of lean into, if you really want to get deep into the movie, that's where they do the parallels between black actors and actors, or just African Americans in general, wanting to be equal to whites. The same thing with this movie. It's like, drag queens, gay people want to be equal to everybody else. That's kind of a subtle transition.
Yeah, it fits. It
Right
fits the motif that is. It's really established in that cop scene where you have a Latino, a black, and a white, and they're all They're not bowing down to society as what they should do. They're going full drag all the time.
Yes.
They're not holding back at all. And I mean, that's a good point. I didn't.
And a line that you could not say today in that movie.
Yeah.
Well,
You might be.
You're hanging out with a
in a van.
and a spin.
Yeah.
Did you add something, Cameron? No. I'm mumbling
Yeah, you would
as hard
get.
as I
I'm
can
just
here.
saying, you would get canceled really quick.
yeah.
As
Yeah.
a director or producer,
Anything.
nobody's going to put that line
Oh,
in
yeah.
the movie today.
No.
Well, Quentin Tarantino.
Quentin Tarantino would, yeah.
So
Yeah.
So Noxzema brings her out of the shadows, starts incorporating her in, and I like how they just start picking off different people in the town, like the shopkeeper kid.
Yeah.
They try and help him with his stutter. They dress him up. They give him a book to
Big
read.
yellow
That
hat man.
goddamn yellow suit. I want it.
I want that Cadillac.
Got it.
Yeah,
Done.
good one.
But yeah, also when they
Goodwill.
go into the, was it a flea market where they,
it was his store.
Well, yeah, that was
Yeah.
the journal store.
where Noxzema goes upstairs and is in the highest pitch voice possible screaming about clothes that she found from the 60s.
Still not very high, by the way.
And but yeah, it's as high as, I mean,
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
it's Snipes high.
Yeah.
And throwing clothes down.
Did she say
I love it when she finds this. She's holding up this red, orange fringe, 70s orange fringe dress thing, and this one lady down there's like, "Oh, that's mine. Give that to me." And she's like, "No, this is mine."
Also, the
fringe.
vest, the vest she holds up is fucking horrible, and she doesn't throw it, and no one wants it, but somebody was wearing it later in the movie. I don't remember who. It was one of the extras in the back when they did the One Pie Strawberry Festival.
Yeah, that's right.
Was it one of you guys, or was it Noxzema that referenced it being basically Goodwill up there? And they were
no, that was the shop owner. It was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
my grandmother bought
Oh,
this
yeah,
in the 60s. They didn't sell. We were going to donate them to Goodwill.
Goodwill. Ah,
Yes.
yeah.
Good.
Which today they would fetch a handsome price.
If they were real,
Yeah.
yes.
Because it's all coming back. It's all coming back.
Mm-hmm.
We'd be selling that on eBay right now.
I mean, we're all shopping at Goodwill right
So,
now.
oh
It's
yeah,
like,
and then they
I
take
am.
Bobby Lee under
Lee.
their wing
Yep.
to
Oh.
teach her how to get her boyfriend.
But did you notice everybody got dressed up but Bobby Lee? Bobby
Yeah,
Lee
yeah,
walked
yeah.
out of the store
Montage.
just
Oh, yeah,
dressed
yeah.
as Bobby Lee.
Yeah.
Well, it was a day with the girls.
The girl, was she not a girl?
She's underage.
Probably didn't have any clothes
Yeah.
her size.
Maybe not.
Well, she couldn't have been that much underage because she was banging Bobby
Ray.
Bobby Ray.
at the
No,
end.
she wanted to.
I don't know. She was in that little cheerleader outfit at the end. I think they were
At the
making
front of the
home,
trailer.
home VHS videos.
A lot happened between the dance that night.
Yeah, I mean that
The trailer that morning.
that little tiny city moves really fucking fast.
Oh yeah, yeah. Bobby Ray already dropped Chi-Chi.
We've
I
established
mean, he
that.
wasn't even like in 4 hours.
And that's how you get Billy Ray.
Indeed.
Yep, right there.
Fucking. Now, we've talked about the makeover montage.
We started at the end of it with the clothes.
Okay, so then you go in, you have the makeover montage. What I like
When
about
they-
this is
Oh,
that
when they realized the one lady owns a
Oh, yeah,
salon.
Myrna.
the salon, yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's Myrna.
it's a classic 90s movie where the whole town is like, we're with you. We've only known you for 6 hours, but whatever you say goes. And they all get makeovers and they all get new clothes, and they're so flashy.
As a person from a small town, that's pretty accurate. When someone new comes
Hell,
to
there's
town,
only 17
we
people in
immediately
town.
want to know everything about them and start doing what they do.
But and
that's absolutely true.
Pause.
Pause,
just-
please.
Oh,
hemorrhoids are hard to deal with.
Camphophonique.
Oh,
Let's do a little Camphophonique. Slap it up in there.
can't what?
Camphophonique.
Explain.
Comes in a green bottle.
It
That's
comes
all
in
I
a
know.
little green bottle. It's camphor
for
oil
bug
and
bites.
something else. It's really
Really?
good for
Oh,
bug
you're
bites,
talking like
mosquito bites.
legitimate solutions.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a liquid. Are we recording this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, for everybody who wants to know, if you have any kind of
Hemorrhoids.
issue, I wouldn't say hemorrhoids. I don't know about that,
Piles?
but any time it's an antibacterial.
Huh.
Now it's going to sting,
Oh, doesn't everything?
but once the
Probably.
sting is over, it will heal up really quick. So yes, if you've anyway, Camphophonique, it'll work.
Folks,
Camp
listen up.
Tonight's podcast brought to you by Camphophonique.
Be unique.
send us
Camphophonique.
at least 16 quarts. I don't know
not
how it
there.
comes. Probably not quarts, but
No,
And,
it's expensive little bottles. I mean, it's like printer ink.
oh man. Shoot. I'm all right. So they
Where were we?
they figure out that this person is a stylist or what the fuck ever. God damn it! You broke me, Alan.
That's hard to do.
Oh shit! And they all get haircuts.
Haircuts. like
God
at
damn
some
it.
barbershop, they got some
Oh,
haircuts.
fuck. Yeah,
Historically, barbershops were doctors.
and this is everybody. Shut the fuck up for a minute. And this is when they come out. And, God, fuck.
The guys.
Noxema, the guys are catcalling.
Oh, yeah.
all the ladies.
Yeah,
Oh,
Tommy.
man. Alan, please join us more. And Noxema goes over to Tommy, and what does she say?
Um,
Oh, talking about how to properly greet a lady.
Yes.
And she,
Yeah.
what's the?
Oh,
you
check out my nails.
Check
like
out
my
my
nails.
nails.
Oh, yeah.
Like my nails. Wah.
And full
Grappling
on
hook.
groin grabs, which I would think that Tommy would be throwing up after he got halfway across the street.
He didn't get up,
dragged him across the
'Cause-
street by his balls.
Noxema had a good hold.
and you saw those nails.
And those
Yeah.
and those are big hands.
They are big, strong hands. They know how to use wooden stakes for sure.
I watched White Man Can't Jump.
Oh yeah.
Palm that basketball.
Moving on. So, at this point is I think when they start actually talking about Chi-Chi and Bobby Ray. Did I get it right
Yeah.
this time?
Yes.
Yep.
And Bobby Ray comes up with the flowers. Am I on track here, or am I missing something?
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
that night. He comes up with the flowers, and Bobby Lee
Well,
and
he
Chi-Chi
asked
both
Bobby
start
Lee-
getting excited, and he
Yeah.
goes, Bobby Lee. She perks up. He's like, would you take the girls inside? This isn't appropriate for them.
Yeah.
And that's when she loses it and runs off, all pissed.
Then he hits on
And-
John Leguizamo.
Chi-Chi perks up a little bit.
But that smile.
We've all done it.
Such a sweet smile Chi-Chi had.
Jesus.
We've all been there.
Is
That
it?
Latin heat.
Hot Latin heat.
Guatemala's.
You know what? No, we did miss something. We did miss Vita trying to spice up the chili.
Oh, yeah, the
Or
whole
stew.
thing.
We haven't even talked about Virgil.
Oh,
it,
yeah.
it wasn't even really chili. It was just like tomatoes.
Stew.
Maybe it's spaghetti sauce because she said put a
no,
little.
she said it was stew.
Was it stew? Who
Yeah, when
would,
she started talking about cleaning it up, she said she spilled the stew.
Yeah.
but who puts onion in stew? Do you put onion?
They didn't have any onion.
Well, I
Vita
know,
even
but she
said
was
I
talking
don't
about.
chopped onion.
Oh, I'm crying because I chopped up some onion.
Yeah, I don't
No
see any
onions.
onion in there.
And she was putting like,
We're just setting the stage for
Well, anyway, huh?
domestic abuse.
yes, well, you put onion in my stew,
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna beat you.
She was cooking and the box fell out of the
Oh,
cabinet
yeah,
and
that
gave her
was
a black
the
eye.
box. Yes.
Yes.
Hadn't heard that one before.
Well, the old head box.
So the scene you're talking about, I mean,
Yeah, we can work with it.
Carol Ann starts by cooking some stew, and Vita walks in on her asking for towels. But it ends up in this thing where when Carol Ann's looking the other way, Vita's over there like tasting, takes the spoon, puts it to her mouth, puts
Right.
the spoon back in. I hate that.
Of course.
Then
I like that. That's
who
what
does
you got
that?
out of the scene.
Who does that? And then without asking, she starts throwing. Well, she asks, but she doesn't say anything. She just immediately starts throwing spices in.
Yeah.
It's like, who does that? You don't do that.
Well, I mean, if it tastes like shit, it tastes like shit.
But that's setting up for when Virgil comes in.
Well, yeah.
Carolyn
that's-
rightly says, no, take those out. Virgil doesn't like spices. And then Virgil comes in later
Virgil does like getting his
and
way.
says, Carolyn, you put spices in it. No,
And-
I scooped them out.
And the next 2 minutes of that conversation, she's just using the wooden spoon and like scooping the spices out and like tapping them on the side of the, like that whole sequence.
Uh-huh.
Fantastic. They didn't soak in there, huh? They're just right up top. And then that's where we get to the full-on Virgil vengeance, where he grabs the
Yeah.
pot with his hands.
Still too spicy.
Yeah.
Carolyn
but
didn't
I
make the
scooped
stew
them
right,
out.
and she was having too much fun watching the girls
Yeah.
after their makeover.
You did this on purpose.
So, Virgil, I understand you like to hit girls.
Yeah. Then we get into the old putting baby in a corner scene.
Well,
I guess.
that's when Vita and Chi-Chi are arguing, and
yes.
as they're
Yeah.
going through
Yeah.
their big argument,
Shitting on each other pretty hard.
yeah. Well, Vita's giving Chi-Chi a hard time for
Bobby
toying
Ray.
with Bobby Ray because he doesn't know what he's getting himself into.
Got a corn cob to eat.
Yeah. And Chi-Chi's just trying to, nope, it's time for me to get mine.
Get that
And-
corn cob eaten.
Yep. And that's when they start hearing Virgil beating the hell out of
Yeah.
what's her
and
face.
then, and then Noxie's just sitting there like, leave it
She's
alone.
like,
That-
yep.
That's white people problems.
Which-
don't get into it.
That was a Noxie's thing the whole time. Other than
Stay out
when
of
they
it.
got catcalled, was you're gonna get killed.
Yeah.
Those white people are gonna kill black crossdressers or white crossdressers or anything else. We're gonna die. And then when he goes in there, when Vita goes in there and grabs, what was the lady's name?
Carolyn?
Carol Ann.
Carol Ann. Yeah.
God, I hate that name. Hey, Caroline, thanks for listening. You go out,
This
closes
house
the door,
is clean.
and just apparently beats the shit out of old
Virgil.
Virgil. And then you have a roadhouse shot where he throws Virgil out the door into the dirt.
Bounced.
Roadhouse. And that sets up kind of the last sequence with the cop and Virgil and all that bit. But before we get to that, what else are we missing?
I mean,
Are we to
is
the
that-
Strawberry Festival?
Is that before or after the town dance scene where they feel bad for
Oh, with no.
Bobby Lee
Yeah, that's
and they kind of
yeah, it was the
jazz
same
her up a
night.
little bit?
Yeah, that was the same night where Bobby Ray comes to talk to Chi-Chi.
Yeah.
And Chi-Chi was like going, hey, it's okay if there's a little lie in a relationship, right? He's like, no. So that's when he kind of cuts it and gives it to Bobby Lee, says, he's all yours. And they're sitting in the kitchen talking about, oh, we need to get rid of all the men. And they're like, well, not all men.
Well, and also,
Well, we can keep Mel Gibson,
Yeah.
which comes back to Mel Gibson, I guess,
Was gonna be Vito.
was offered the role and turned it down, but they still brought him up in the movie.
but also that conversation where it was, was a little lie okay, and then he's like, well,
Yeah.
a little lie, a big lie, and they make that whole dick joke.
Oh,
Yeah, sitting on it or something like that.
You're gonna sit on this lie.
Yeah.
And he's like, you have that moment.
I don't care how big or small it is.
You don't want to sit on a lie. And then Chi-Chi comes in and pretends like it was her idea to shut the whole
Turning
thing
loose,
off.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, he's yours.
And then you have the they spruce up little
Bobby Lee.
Bobby Lee. God damn, I'm bad with names.
Hey, it's hard, dude.
It is.
Yeah.
And
Clearly.
then is when we have tomorrow's the Strawberry Festival, and at that point we've had the bar scene with Virgil and Dullard, and he's found out this is where my Cinderella is. And it looks like pretty much like dawn when he drives in there and has his
Megaphone.
megaphone, and his shotgun.
He sobered up real quick.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
And must have had a whole bunch of coke and amphetamines in the car, but from other bikers he pulled over or something.
Well, he could have been Missouri now.
Well,
yeah.
all those corn cobs.
I'm with you with the Missouri
They
now.
wake you right up.
Yeah, okay.
And I love that somehow he was on the deck, like
Parkour.
Yeah.
he's
Just
you
driving
look
around
at him
town.
and he's driving around town, then you look back and he's on the porch with his shotgun and the,
I never noticed that before. I never
So
never
weird.
noticed he was up on that,
like
that
why
balcony.
would you want to be up there? If you're looking for somebody, you probably want to be on the ground looking for him. You're pretty stationary if you're on a porch of a random house
Trying to
whatever.
get the high ground. Scope out the whole town from there.
with a shotgun.
All 3 buildings.
But the whole time that he's got the megaphone and talking to the town, he's if anyone didn't know they were drag queens, he's telling them that they are, and they're putting it together.
Yeah. And
And
then Bobby Ray's like,
Well, Bobby Lee
Yeah.
here's
Yeah.
is like you could see she was like, oh, okay. You know, Bobby Lee got it almost immediately.
What
And
was that?
Bobby Ray was kind of like still waiting.
What did Bobby Lee say?
Got it.
Oh, okay.
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 The expression
Sounds
on
like
her
LA.
face said that.
Okay.
You could tell that Bobby Lee's a little smarter than Bobby Ray.
yeah, and Bobby Ray's like,
Maybe a
oh,
lot.
I need to go.
It's a low bar to
you
reach
got to
there.
race that Coca-Cola sign now.
What did it say? I love.
I love Chi Chi.
I love Chi-Chi.
Yeah.
Was it just I love Chi Chi?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
crossed out Coca-Cola and put Chi Chi.
But I love the setup because now the sheriff's in town, and it's a one-road town, and the
Yep.
wind's a blowing. Is it high noon?
Are we still doing phrasing?
If you want.
But this is also, I loved this because it was like drag queen Spartacus.
This is Spiderville.
I am a drag queen. No, I am a drag queen. No, I am a drag queen.
You're telling me you're a drag queen? Well, nothing this pretty could be real.
And
Best line.
I don't even know if they gave him a name. The black dude that was running the
Oh,
show.
yeah, Jimmy Joe.
He comes up and he's just like rubbing his nipples
Yeah,
and shit.
I'm a drag queen.
He went there.
He was all into it. It was fantastic. And then you had the old lady. I'm a drag queen.
Can I have my shoe?
I think he knew about that scene 2 seconds before it happened, and like, hey, I'm like, here's what you need to do. He's like, okay.
Just get after it. He's like, oh,
Yeah,
I know
Just
what
told him
to
all
Yeah.
the ad-lib.
do. This ain't my first rodeo. Shirt on or off? On or off?
Pop that top.
I want to curl my hand through your chest hairs.
But I love how they set it up. You think it's Miss Vita that's walking out there in a red dress and
Oh,
a
yeah,
veil, and it turns out to be Carol Ann in the veil. And then that's the scene that we're getting into with all the ad-libbing. I'm a drag queen.
Yeah.
I broke the dam. No, I broke the dam.
So ridiculous. I love it. And then, because they all declared they're drag queens, the cop retreats,
With shotgun in hand.
Yeah,
drops all
yeah.
his shit, except for the shotgun, waves it at them, gets in the car and says, "It's not over," and then drives away.
He gave up after
Well, he
all
said-
that effort. He gave up really easily.
He was
What-
parked on the only road out of town.
That's true.
Yeah, and then the old man walks by. Why is he walking into town?
See, and
He's
that
just
was
walking into town.
That was where I was going. When he's sitting there, and why the fuck is he parked too?
Yeah.
He's sitting there and he's like, "This is America. We can't have." And the old guy comes by. He goes, "Oh, those founding fathers had pretty fabulous wigs." And just
Right.
keeps on walking.
Tips his hat and moseys on.
But we also had a sequential '90s victory montage where it's a party because we won somehow.
It's
Oh,
the
yeah.
Strawberry Festival.
And there's one.
Red and wild.
there's one strawberry pie that
Yeah.
But
Chi-Chi
everyone
likes-
makes one and brings it to the festival.
right.
Okay.
Apparently
They got sidetracked with the
they're lazy.
What's the strawberry?
Sheriff.
What's the strawberry festival? Well, we make pies.
And
and
we
then
eat
we
them.
eat pies.
We eat the pies.
And we go home.
We go home.
After
Which-
Chi-Chi licks the pies.
Well, I was gonna say who can't get behind that, but you ruined it.
Get behind Chi Chi right now.
Crazy.
And then, what's Virgil's wife's name?
Carol Ann.
Carol Ann. Somehow fixed the car just by herself.
without the Cadillac parts.
Well, the subtext there is she didn't need Virgil.
She did not.
She's
Yeah.
a strong, independent woman.
Yeah.
And
All
it-
she needed was like a little tool to reset the point on the condenser, and it fired right up.
Are we still doing?
You know that
Virgin?
scene in
No.
Endgame where all the female
That's it.
Avengers show up
Oh,
and
no.
support each other?
Uh-uh.
I think Carol Ann was there.
Oh, it's
Nope.
called a feeler gauge. That's what it's called.
Nope.
Take your feeler gauge, and you pick the right thing, and you put it in between the points in the condenser, and you realign it so they can click, 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 and send, you know.
But does it touch
And-
both sides?
Well, no, you have a points in the condenser. That's what fires off the spark plugs
Doesn't
in
touch
those
the
little
walls.
cars. No. It's a
Is it
points in
instant?
condenser. No. As some whatever the thing turns, it.
What
We gotta
causes
get
the
video
point
in
to
is
answer.
it? Danglage?
No, just Google points in condenser, and it's old.
I am so scared
Yeah,
to Google
and it's
that.
before coil packs, way before coil. So anyway,
It does confirm that Virgil was
he was. Oh, yeah,
was just
yeah.
Exactly.
shysting them
Oh,
from the
absolutely.
get go
Yeah.
He didn't need
because
Cadillac
they were
parts.
women.
No, probably
don't
what
know about
happened is the
cars.
car got hot, and it was a really cold night, and there was a screw loose, so the little contact point spread out a little bit,
And that's why
it wouldn't
Chi Chi
start.
had
It was just go-
denim Daisy Dukes on.
Also, they had 30,000 pounds of clothes in the trunk.
That is, yes.
It's a
Car just got
magic
tired.
trunk of holding.
And not at once did I see them ever pull over for a gas station. That was a freaking Cadillac from the 70s. You know that thing got 6 miles to the gallon.
Yeah, they had to pull
Yeah,
over.
but it
And
had
they
a
couldn't
38
afford
gallon gas
They could
tank.
not afford $1,500 to fly 3 people to L.A., but they could afford $3,000
it was
in
90s gas. It was,
Yeah. It was
probably
90s
like-
gas.
$1.91 is
Not
what I
at-
saw.
Not at 6
What?
gallons.
$1.91 is
In
what I saw in the
95?
movie.
Oh.
We can pull it up. There was a gas
Oh,
station. It was
that
sign that
sounds
said
about right.
$1.91.
You know that thing didn't get more than
No.
It might have
10
still been in
miles
New
to
York
the
at the
Under
time.
$1 in the 80s, and then it was
It said
over $1 in the
$1.91.
90s.
I-
or something.
It was a
Quote it.
$1.01 when I started driving.
I'm about to go freaking find it.
Yeah.
Well, could state by state,
191.
the prices could be higher.
Well, and yeah, it's
I learned to
cities,
drive in Florida.
Bigger cities, more expensive.
Yeah.
You could triangulate the location.
This was
of
not a big
towns
city.
by the gas price now.
Okay, so let's go with this. So if we're going to go to New York and we're going to drive to LA, so we're at least as a crow flies, probably 3,000 miles. So let's just say if it's a dollar a gallon for gas, you're looking at that Cadillac couldn't get. I mean, it was a busted up Cadillac, wasn't even prime condition. I mean, it broke down
It was falling
halfway
apart,
through.
yeah.
So even then, just say it got 10 miles a gallon. So you're looking at 300 gallons of gas at $1. That's $300, and that's being generous, right? And again, they couldn't pay $500 more for another ticket to fly because he goes, "I'm going to give you $1,000 for your 2 tickets,
Yeah.
$1,500 for 3 tickets." Well, we can't afford that, but you can afford $300 in gas plus the $50 to buy the car. So now you're at $350, and you know the budget hotels are a nice hotel according to Chi Chi. So that thing is probably $60 a night. So they got a night there. So now they're up to $400, and Virgil skipped them for 2 days in the middle of nowhere. So again, now they're up to $500, and that's not even counting eating.
But they haven't ate
So
shit
couldn't
the
they
whole
just
time.
flown?
And they bought all those clothes.
All they had was cheese and crackers with the
It's a movie.
ballers.
I also think what you're not accounting for is one of the first places they stopped was a truck stop.
Oh, right. Well,
You
that
can't
may-
get that when you fly.
That may be where they made their money. That could have been the gas.
Bingo.
You gotta,
Yeah,
you
that
gotta
could've
make
been
it.
Glory holes.
Yeah.
Little duct tape will do you wonders.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so we solved the money situation.
Does explain a few.
we're
things.
just figuring out problems.
I thought
here.
they were career women.
They were queer women.
Women.
Queer
women.
Yes.
Career women.
That's exactly
Yes.
right.
From New York City.
career wormen.
Wor-
They worm in.
Also, we're to the festival. We're getting they're leaving, and then you have that little back and forth between Vita and
Carol Ann?
was it Carol Ann he was talking to at the very end there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and the line was so weird. It was like,
I don't think you use man.
yeah, I don't think if
I
you use a
don't
man, I don't
think
think if
you
you use a
use a
woman. I think if you use an angel.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think that's helpful.
After talking about her Adam's apple.
Gay. And he just poses in front of the car in the little Scott Stapp angel.
Scott Stapp.
I don't even know that term. I'm gonna have to
Scott
Google it.
Stapp?
Scott Stapp from Creed.
Oh,
From
we're gonna
who?
watch some
Well-
Creed videos here in a second.
Oh,
When you talk about
let's do
Creed,
it.
yeah.
John was
I'm
able-
ready.
Oh, yeah. No, okay,
wouldn't
no.
shut up. I mean, his character wouldn't shut up.
Yeah.
I love at the end when they're trying to say goodbye to everybody in the town, and she goes off on like talking about one of her comic book
Oh,
scenarios, Princess
They're just
Laritza,
like, oh,
and then
just pat everyone.
be
Loretta,
safe.
Loretta's just like, all right then, bye.
yeah.
Which I wonder if that was in
That's
the
my
script.
model for getting out of something now. All right then, bye bye.
I think you should start doing that to people on the regular.
I already have.
By the way, all right, what else do we miss in this thing?
Well, then they go to Hollywood.
Oh yeah, the
yes.
actual real ending.
Yeah,
That's-
the whole point of
I wondered if
the
it was
movie.
going to ever take place.
They still had 1,200 miles to go, but they made it there.
But they made some friends along the way.
You have no idea how they're getting back.
They made
Well,
it.
and
Oh,
there we
they're not
go
going
again.
back.
It's going to cost them at least $500 in gas to get back.
They ain't
unless
going
they
nowhere.
sold the car for Chi-Chi's new dress.
Well, you also know, like the second Chi-Chi won that thing,
Oh, she had
she's
prize
like,
money.
"Fuck you guys."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
need you
Bailed
anymore.
on them
100%.
immediately.
Drop you like that.
Yeah,
I mean, have you ever been to a drag
Vita and
contest?
Noxemo are
Oh,
like in the
they're
alleys, blowing dudes for tickets to drag queen clubs.
And I
Chi-Chi.
am pretty sure Noxie did not give that letter to Robert Mitchum.
Yeah, I
think
forgot
he's
about that
dead,
part.
but-
That was a random one-off.
Yeah, hey, give this letter to Robert Mitchum.
Robert Mitchum's still alive?
I don't think he was alive back then either.
Probably not. Yeah. Well, she was ancient.
He might have been alive, but I don't know.
Maybe Noxie already knew that, and she was just being,
Just guard it with my life.
She's being real sweet.
yeah. All right, old lady, whatever.
I got it. Give me some money.
Oh yeah, her name was Clara because the movie theater was called
Yeah.
the Clara.
Robert
Just
Mitchum
make
died
sure-
2 years after this movie.
Oh, so he was.
Checks out.
I wonder if he got the letter.
And she said, "Just
That's
make
what killed him.
Yeah.
maybe."
Better.
Well, she was asking her, well, she better leave me all those photo albums of all the actors and actresses
Oh,
in
yeah.
her will,
Got
just
it.
for doing this.
Also, can we, before we wrap this up, address John Leguizamo's teeth?
Ugh.
They are terrible, and until you guys started talking about it, I never really paid attention. I mean,
As soon
And he's
I've seen it in movies where it looks like it's supposed to be that way, but in this one, it didn't
is,
look like it was
'cause-
supposed to be this way.
his teeth aren't like that in any other movie though.
Are they not? Like in
No,
when
so
he's like the
in-
clown in Spawn, and
the clown and Spawn, but in Romeo and Juliet and any of the John Wick films, The Pest, none of those he's got like his teeth are not like that, with the exception of when he's the clown in Spawn.
It's
Most
like
of those
it's,
are after this.
it's like Reggie Miller,
They
though.
are.
Like with money
But
comes
not-
better teeth.
Yeah, unless you're Steve Buscemi, which he says that he's never going to fix his teeth because that's his
Signature
like
Yeah,
Chris
thing.
Lambert.
I mean, it's-
Yeah, but
like
Romeo
Michael
and
Strahan.
Juliet was only like a year after this movie, though.
Well, do you think maybe
yeah.
his teeth? You only noticed his teeth because he had lipstick on, and you were
Maybe.
to it.
He's got a big ass
No, but
mouth.
it's-
Looks like a piranha.
I mean, you look at the cover of the DVD of The Pest. It's just this massive smile like the Joker.
Yeah.
Which I think is why he got the clown role in Spawn, because he can do that huge grin. But yeah, I never really noticed it until
His
somebody said it.
yeah, like even like I said, even right after his teeth are like in pretty good shape.
Well, the
Because
Pest, they're like overly white. It looks
Yeah.
like he's wearing caps or something because they're way overly done.
Well, same thing in Romeo and Juliet, because they have like several close up shots of him smoking in that film.
Who is he?
Tybalt.
Oh, it's Tybalt. That's right. You flick your thumb at me, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do not bite my thumb at you.
What
Yep.
else? What else we got?
We missed one of the better lines of the movie because this was in fact a comedy. You are laughing a little bit throughout, just based on these manly men
I laughed a lot.
being in drag, but you're laughing part of them acting in drag, right? Like that is part of it, and then there are funny lines as well. One of the better lines in the movie is when they're back at the club, or like near the beginning of the movie. John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt and the whole negotiation of turning in the tickets, getting money for that, and how are they going to get new transportation out to Hollywood. And there was a bus recommendation. And Noxie says what? I ain't no Rosa Parks. One of the better lines of the movie. I'll be honest. One of the better lines of the movie. I laughed pretty hard at that one.
Which I'm looking back
She's
at.
the club car
I
too,
don't
when he
Rosa
recommended the
Parks.
train.
Oh, just
Is
tell
there
me
a
there's
club car?
Is there a club car?
Is our club car?
Yeah,
There's
Ixnay on the
in the fight with the couple of the hotel bed and breakfast, whatever you want to call it. There's where Noxema says, There are times when you help people, then you get killed.
So you don't help people.
So you don't help people. And then when Vita goes in to confront the husband, he says, some women just got to get hit. Like, we're just going to set you straight up to get your ass kicked. You need one more line on top of beating her a little bit and smacking her around.
Some women just need to be hit.
The Lifetime Network was founded on that.
Well, I mean, he took a page out of Sean Connery's book. Some ladies just get smacked around a little bit.
Conversely, some men
I concur.
smack, punch.
What?
Didn't even break a nail.
All right, what else are we missing?
Have a
Let's
black
wrap
eye
this fucker
tomorrow.
up. Yeah, you both are going to have black eyes tomorrow. Maybe mushroom stamps. Anything else, gentlemen?
No.
I don't think we missed anything specifically, but I do want to ask, just in general, why are there not drag kings?
Oh,
Are there?
interesting? No,
Are there women that? Well, I mean, there's women that dress up like men, but they're not really.
Not
More
double
like
standard.
Yeah, there's
Tom-
not a.
like a tomboy, but
But there's not like a show for them or anything. You
No.
just are a
boyish.
more masculine looking female,
butch,
right?
yeah.
Butch.
We're the pants in the relationship.
Yeah.
Uh,
Get
strap
after
on.
it. That's an interesting point.
yeah, and I don't know.
I mean,
Why
there's
there is-
there's theatrics, obviously, with the
I think it's the whole costume
with the makeup, and you have to be like. There's a lot more work, I would say, to be portrayed as a female than female to be portrayed as
Especially
a male.
the ones that they are portraying themselves as, because they're not portraying themselves as like a stay-at-home mom in like sweatpants and a little tiny bit
Well,
of.
that's true. And you look at drag queens; they're always over the top.
Right.
So you're going to have like you're dressing up as Dolly Parton, Rita
Yeah.
McEntire. I don't see
It's
any
for the
lesbians
performers.
out there dressing up as like Mel Torme or something.
And that was a question I had early on: was are all drag queens gay? And then they had the whole gay thing, but I don't think that corresponds to all.
No, I'm
We're all going to learn together.
no. Okay, so
For some, it's
are
just
all
performance.
are all drag queens
Right.
gay? No, but I guess it came down to the thing. If you have too much fashion sense for one gender, you're a drag queen. If you're just a man that dresses up in women's clothes, then you're just
Transvestite.
Yeah, transvestite.
Oh yeah.
Now there are men who will dress up, like you take like in what's his name from Mrs. Brown's Boys. He dresses up as a woman,
Like
Brendan
Tyler Perry.
Brendan O'Carroll, Brendan O'Carroll, whatever. Oh no, Carol O'Brien. I don't care. But anyway, it's a great show.
Medea.
Medea.
Oh
But yeah, Medea.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's drag, but he's not gay. But he's not a drag queen.
Right.
The drag queen.
Well, that's
I
more
think,
for
really-
entertainment. I'm thinking
more
of
for
people that
entertainment.
do it because they are inclined to do it, and that's what they
Well,
want.
I think
I mean,
a
because
drag
they
queen
stayed
has-
in their
Well,
drag
yeah,
queen,
this
right?
in this movie, they were that was them.
Right.
In their mind, they were the old Clark Kent Superman. In their minds, they were that, and they were born a different way, and they had to do that to become who they were.
the terminology shifted a
Yeah.
lot between the 80s,
Yeah,
90s, and
yeah,
now.
for
I mean,
me,
Yeah.
now,
generally-
now people would just call them as transgender, I think, because the
Probably.
pre-op transgender,
Well, the different.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I would. Yeah, I
they're
would say
always,
that because you
so
can
many
be
they're
a-
always representing as women, but
You're-
prefixes we can put on it.
you're a man, generally
Yeah, it gets
generally
away
a
from
gay
me.
man dresses up as a drag queen, and you're more into entertainment show type thing. But if you live your life dressed up, then you're transgender, or that's how
Okay.
you how
If
you
that's your
identify.
identity.
But I think as far as so this really was on the cusp because they dressed the entire 24/7.
Yeah.
So I think
I was
it
gonna
was
say-
easier to say drag queen than transgender. It wasn't
Well,
a
and
term
even
back
we're
then.
like
But-
off put when Swayze's hair got caught. He was like, "I've been exposed. Like
Yes.
you've seen a part of me I don't want you to see," kind of thing.
yeah.
So that was as you think about all these different, and we live. I mean, this was '95. We have so many prefixes
talking
for
almost 30
every
years
different
ago.
thing in the world now, and that was where that kind of came from.
Yeah.
Of where does that hammer fall down, and I doubt there's a bucket that actually works for it.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Because there's so many different things now that it's just whatever,
Yeah,
whatever
'cause-
you want to do, whatever you are, just do it.
Yeah, because like I said, if we would have watched like Priscilla Queen of the Desert, those were drag queens.
They did
During
it
the
just
day,
for their
they were
performance
men.
on Saturday night
Yeah,
or
they
whenever
did
they
only
do.
performance during Saturday night. Where this was,
So they weren't gay guys?
No, they were gay.
Okay.
One of
I-
them
with
was
exception
but it
of
was
the-
only for
except
the show.
Bernie and Priscilla. Bernie
one.
was probably more transgender because he had the long hair. He went by Bernadette.
Yeah.
He had a different name, just like in this it was it was Vita, it was Noxzema.
Yeah.
They-
That
They,
was their
they,
identity.
they were still stage names though, not.
Yeah, but they
went
lived
by
their
'em all
day
the time.
Well,
Yeah.
and
So
I know the three of us, we know people that will do drag shows and stuff like that, but during the day, they're not.
just
They're
themselves.
not. They're
dressed up
dressed
like that, yeah.
totally normal. What you would expect for a male,
right.
female.
It's no different than you dress up and go to work.
Right.
During the day, you're not wearing a tie and a suit.
Yeah.
That is their suit and tie.
You don't?
No. You're lucky. Most days I've got.
All
I've
you
got
assholes
pants
work
on.
from
I was gonna
home.
say, you're not wearing
Yeah.
pants.
I mean, that's the beauty of working from home. But it's
Yeah,
like
I
I'm
don't know
not
what
turning
that's
on my
like.
camera.
That's a whole different
Yeah.
conversation.
It's like no, we don't need this. info.
Alan also has an OnlyFans. You can reach it on the link below.
Oh yeah.
All right. Anything else we need to add before we wrap this thing up?
A good time with it.
If you haven't seen this, it's a good look into the old 1995. Let me specify that because the 90s are getting back there a little bit. Also, great actors doing
28
good
years
acting,
ago.
and it was fun. It was goofy and it was weird, but it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Catch us again. Is that it?
Yep.
Okay. I also want to thank Cheetah Graphics and Kim for providing some shirts. We are doing, I'm going to say we're doing Comic-Con, but I'm not going to have this edited before Comic-Con. So thanks to Cheetah Graphics for providing some merchandise for Talking with Words. If you want any, go to the website, robcookersbooks.com. You can check us on Facebook, Instagram. Listen to all of our stuffs. We've got, 2 years worth at this point. Thanks for listening. Hey, Alan, thanks for coming, bud.
Yes. Well, I always say never show up every time. Just leave them wanting more.
Oh, man, you're such a stud. We're out.
Are we recording?